What the heck am I supposed to do with this? I know. I have 5 very tasty Weight Watcher recipes that are low point and you use pumpkin, which I think is perfect for fall, don't you? I am putting on my apron because I don't trust myself. I don't want to get anything on my shirt. The first recipe that I'm starting off with is a peanut butter chocolate chip pumpkin loaf. In a bowl, I have 2 eggs. To that, I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Now I'm going to mix this together with my hand mixer. I'm using 3/4 cup of pure pumpkin and 1/3 cup of unsweet applesauce. I'm going to mix these ingredients together just for a few minutes. In a small bowl, I'm adding a 1/2 cup of PB2 peanut butter powder and a 1/4 cup of water. I'm going to stir this up really well to combine it and make it nice and smooth. Now I'm going to add in the peanut butter with the pumpkin, and I am going to beat this with my hand mixer just for a few minutes. I need 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice, and 1 cup of flour. I'm going to mix this up to combine all of these delicious flavors. I'm adding 3 tablespoons of Lily's chocolate chips. This recipe is by Drizzle Me Skinny, and the recipe calls for mini chocolate chips. I don't have mini chocolate chips. I have Lily's chocolate chips, so I'm just going to use those instead. I'm just going to fold these in. I have sprayed my loaf pan and I'm adding the batter into it. I have 1 more tablespoon of Lily's chocolate chips. I'm going to sprinkle those over the top of the loaf. I have my oven preheated to 350 and I'm going to bake this for 45 to 50 minutes. Okay, I have to tell you, you have to try this. This is so good. There is a hint of peanut butter going throughout the bread, but then when you get those chocolate chips in there, oh my goodness, it is so delicious. I also am going to be placing this in a freezer bag and I'm going to put it in my freezer because I don't want to waste any of this loaf. So I cut the bread in 10 slices. I went in the middle and then cut 5 times on each end. For 1 slice, it is 4 points. This pairs perfectly with coffee. Just saying. Now we're gonna make some pumpkin spice cream cheese muffins. In a bowl, I have 4 ounces of light cream cheese and an egg. After I started looking at it, the recipe says the egg white, but I'm not gonna worry about it. Now I'm pouring in a 1/2 tablespoon of milk, 1 tablespoon of sugar, and a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm gonna beat this together until it's smooth. In a bowl, I have an egg white. I'm supposed to use the egg, but I'm switching them, I guess. It'll all work out in the end, right? And to that, I am adding a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. I'm gonna beat these together. I'm adding in 1 cup of pure pumpkin and a 1/3 cup of unsweet applesauce. I'm gonna mix these up really well. Now I'm adding in 1 cup of flour, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and a 1/2 tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice. I've sprayed my muffin tin. It makes 12 muffins. I'm going to add the batter to each one of these. Now I'm adding a tablespoon of the cream cheese mixture to each of these muffin tins. I'm taking a toothpick and I'm swirling in the cream cheese mixture. I have my oven preheated to 375 and I'm going to bake these for 18 to 20 minutes. Each muffin is 3 points apiece for me. The only thing that I would do different is I would probably layer the cream cheese filling in the pumpkin as I'm laying it in the muffin tin. The toothpick did not mix it down into the middle and the bottom part of the muffin because the cream cheese is seriously what makes these muffins. They are so good. I am also placing these in a freezer bag and popping them in my freezer because I don't want any of these to go to waste. These will heat up easily in my microwave and I can enjoy a 3-point snack. Now we are making pumpkin crumble donuts. I better put some coffee on. I am starting off by mixing my dry ingredients first. So I have a 1/2 cup of flour, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. I'm gonna mix these up a little bit. I added 2 tablespoons of egg whites. Now I'm adding 1 teaspoon of vanilla, a 1/4 cup of pumpkin, a 1/3 cup of unsweet almond milk. I'm gonna mix, mix, mix until this is nice and smooth. In a small bowl, I'm gonna make a streusel topping for these donuts. I melted 3/4 of a tablespoon of butter. I'm using the I Can't Believe It's Not butter. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of flour, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of nutmeg. I'm gonna mix this up. I purchased this little dough or bagel pan on Amazon. I have it linked below. So I sprayed my pan. Don't want donuts to stick. And I'm gonna put the donut batter into my pan. I made sure and used all my batter. Now I am adding the streusel topping to each of the donuts. I have my oven preheated to 350 and I'm gonna bake these donuts for 14 to 16 minutes. Okay, first off, I could not wait to play with my little donut pans. Second, these are really good. The only thing that I would do differently is reduce the amount of nutmeg that is in the topping and in the donut. For me, it was just a little bit too much nutmeg, but overall, these donuts are really good. The density is perfect on the donut, and then with that crumble topping, oh my goodness. These would be a great on-the-go breakfast, or just a snuggle in kind of a morning breakfast. Also, really super good snack. I mean, who doesn't love donuts? And they are 3 points a piece. Now that I played with my donut pans and had some fun with that, I wanna bring out my little mini dash waffle maker and I'm gonna make some pumpkin waffles. I am starting off by placing 8 eggs in a bowl, half a teaspoon of vanilla, 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. The recipe calls for a container of Weight Watcher apple cinnamon instant oatmeal. I have the apple cinnamon instant oatmeal by Better Oats. This is 2 points for a pack. I'm gonna add the pack into my mixture along with 1 can of pure pumpkin. I'm gonna give this a really good stir. I have sprayed my little dash waffle maker. Just a personal preference, I'm putting a 1/4 cup of this batter in. The recipe does not give specifics. That's the first one. I might let it cook a little bit longer. Okay, so I let it cook for 3 minutes. I set my timer. That looks much better. Hold up. I tasted these and they weren't what I was expecting. So I'm changing it up a little bit. I'm gonna add some cinnamon, I'm gonna add a little bit of nutmeg, and I'm going to continue making these waffles. When I taste tested the first waffle, the texture just was a little off. So I'm hoping these added spices and maybe cooking it a little longer is going to help out with that. Adding those spices and cooking them a little bit longer really helped these waffles turn out to be very tasty. We could also add some chocolate chips, top it with whipped cream, sugar-free syrup. The 1/4 cup measuring cup that I'm using to scoop the batter onto the waffle maker, that's perfect. It's making the perfect size waffles. These waffles are basically 0 points. For me, I get pumpkin is 0 points, eggs is 0 points, a little bit of spices, 0 points. The only thing is the oatmeal that I added in is 2 points for the entire packet. So if you're calculating, I would say that 1 waffle is 0 points, 2 waffles, if you want it to be, it can be 1 point. These are going in the freezer for future breakfast for me. I love to be able to pull out these style of waffles, pop them in my toaster. Toasting them up is gonna give them the perfect texture that I'm looking for. Overall, I think this is a pretty good recipe. I'm excited to try this one. This next recipe is pumpkin spice cream cheese roll-ups. That sounds really good. All right, let's put these bad boys together and enjoy them. In a bowl, I'm adding 4 ounces of light cream cheese. I have softened this at room temperature. Makes it easier to work with, right? Now I'm adding a 1/4 cup of pumpkin, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and a 1/2 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. I'm gonna mix this all together really well. I have flat out bread, it's just the light original. This recipe is calling for 4 of these, but I'm just gonna do 1 at a time. So I'm gonna take 1/4 of the cream cheese mixture and I'm gonna place it on the flat out, spread this around, roll it up, and I'm gonna place this in my refrigerator for about 15 minutes to let this set. Okay, wait a second. I just dipped my finger into the filling. This is really good. This would also be good as a dip. You could dip fruits in it. Oh my goodness, this is really good. Okay, I need to keep working and not eat the filling. It's been 15 minutes. So the instructions to the recipe says to cut this in 10 pieces. So I'm gonna do what I did with the bread. I'm gonna cut it in half, and then I'm gonna do 5 and 5. Okay, but seriously, look at this. Doesn't that just look yummy? So the recipe says for 10 of these, it's 4 points. If you have a sweet tooth, this will take care of it. This is so rich and flavorful, little sweet. Oh my goodness, it is so good. But then when you put that floury wrap around it, it cuts through the sweetness of it. I highly recommend this one too. I really hope you give these recipes a try. I think they're perfect for fall. And I mean, if you're following Weight Watchers, you can't beat that they're low point, right? Down below are all the recipes, and in each recipe is going to be the nutrition facts for you to easily be able to enter the nutrition into your Weight Watcher app. Looking for more low point food ideas? Here are 2 more videos you can enjoy that'll help you out. We can be successful together. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon.